Right, good morning to everybody, and thank you to Scribe for giving us the opportunity to talk to you all about what's new in neighbourhood planning. My name's Neil Kirkland, I'm the CEO of Go Collaborate. Katrina, my colleague, was meant to be here today, was meant to be doing the presentation, but we've had some issues with the technology between Google and we think it's Zoom changing settings. She's no longer able to get into Zoom calls, but you've got me. I'll leave it for you to decide whether it's an upgrade or a downgrade, but we'll crack on. So what we're trying to do today is talk to you about the revisions of the National Planning Policy framework that we're going to put through in December and how they impact on neighbourhood planning, and they do impact quite significantly. We were going to cover off what the government is doing on the digital planning system and how they're trying to make that better with particular reference, or this presentation with particular reference to community engagement. And then we're going to have a quick 2 or 3 slides at the end on the benefits and the case for digital community engagement. So neighbourhood planning is a process that enables communities to work together, to come together to develop a vision for their neighbourhood and shape future growth and development. The neighbourhood plans, also known as neighbourhood development plans, are the formal legal documents that come out of the process that are agreed following a referendum, which set out what can and cannot happen in terms of development in the areas. So pretty critical. Lots of benefits of neighbourhood plans. I'm sure most of you know all this stuff.
Sorry to interrupt. I've put a note in. Are we? Will the slides be shared?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Before I write copious notes, thank you.
No problem at all. So lots of benefits. Yeah, empowers the community to come together, work together to shape their area. Quite frankly, gives them the influence. Otherwise, it'll be local planners at a distance, perhaps doing what they think is right for your area. Gives you the opportunity to really look at sustainable development in its full scope. So not just about the environment, but prosperity in the area, health benefits of the area, the whole lot, the whole thing that will enable your areas to go from strength to strength in the coming years. It enables you to look after what's important in the area. The local planners are unlikely to be very local, and they are unlikely to know exactly what is important in your area in terms of characteristics of what's happening. It gives you the opportunity to address local needs, what the community wants, what the community needs. And in that whole process, it brings the community, done well, it brings the community together and results in a stronger community, hopefully working together into the future for the benefit of all. So those are the benefits. Now, these things are not easy to deliver. Some towns, parishes fail at the first hurdle. Some manage to do some of the consultation requirements, but it takes out so much effort, comes with so much pain, that they find that the willing volunteers that were involved at the outset just disappear. And a lot of that is down to the process. And that's one of the reasons why digital community engagement is being so encouraged. We'll drop a bit more onto that in the future. Digital engagement is making a difference. It's taking the pain out of a lot of this stuff. So the changes that came through, government, again, most of you will have picked this up, mandatory housing targets, big increases to reflect that the government said it's going to build more houses. And this impacts on neighbourhood development plans. We are based in Cornwall, and 64 out of the 77 plans in Cornwall have been identified as requiring review. They will no longer fulfil the aims that they were agreed for, when they were agreed some years ago. Other changes, the government have introduced something called a grey belt. This picks off some of the areas previously covered by the green belt. They're badging it as new opportunities. What some parishes, towns are seeing it as a threat to areas that previously couldn't be developed are now open for development, unless the neighbourhood development plans pick this up and manage to deal with it. The government has laid down a much stronger system with time requirements and with the ability for them to enforce those requirements. So they, if you listen to them, they mean business about delivering these houses. And given the increase in house numbers, given the relaxation of some areas where development previously couldn't be done, i.e. the Greenbelt, there is an urgent need for communities to work with the local planning authorities to identify where these houses are going to go. What hasn't changed, absolutely requirement to follow the rules. The NDPs cannot override national and local planning policies. Just not going to happen. So, yeah. NDPs need to demonstrate a real need and have community support following a referendum. It's going to be owned by the community. Draft plans have failed through lacking the sustainability focus, not covering up all the things they needed to cover for the long-term benefits to be achieved. Disregarding national policies, you do wonder how they managed to get through the draft plans with such a problem. And more challenging or more easy to understand, inadequate consultation. Those responsible for putting the plans together have failed to demonstrate that they've engaged the community and all the stakeholders. And we can see that this is a challenge because, quite frankly, traditional engagement is very difficult, hence the need for digital engagement. In summary, local planning authorities are required to deliver the new targets, and communities, towns, parishes will need to work with them to ensure that the houses are delivered in the right number, in the right places, and the right type. There's funding for neighbourhood planning through locality, and if areas identify sites where development, they want to explore development, go further, then there's more funding for that. There's also other funding opportunities for general community development. So there's money out there. The planning requirements aside, I'm sure we'll all agree that what towns and parishes need to be doing is reflecting what the communities want, need, and prioritise. It's not always quite that simple, but certainly being able to understand and communicate to the communities about what you're doing, why you're doing it, is critical. And as in the case of neighbourhood development plans, there is absolute requirement for that consultation engagement to be demonstrated. So therefore, we would say high quality community engagement is critical. And the latest technology, the latest digital platforms make this easier. So we've been going for 4 years now, and it's easier now to do digital engagement than ever before. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's certainly easier. The government recognised that poor community engagement is only one of the problems that they've got with the planning system, and that the planning system is a major barrier to achieving the growth that the government wants, and specifically the 370,000 new houses that they've identified as appropriate required every single year. The reasons for this are many. And yeah, that slide there picks up some of it. Perhaps the standout from me is that half of the planning officer's time is spending on very small applications with absolutely no issues, and yet they're bogging down the whole system. Clearly, there's issues around the information that's required. And the government is seeing digital as the solution to this, as you will see going forward. The Department of Levelling Up Housing Communities, or I think it's now the Department for Housing Communities and Local Government, have got a digital planning programme which attempts to address those problems. It's been going a number of years and it's got some way to go, but we are now starting to see results. The programme is about making access to planning data easier, better, smoother, making the whole systems much more efficient so that applications can go through, everybody can get involved and see, and they're not burdened and slowed down unless they need to be. Communities can engage and get involved and can do it easily and can understand what is happening and why. One would hope that perhaps the communities will support some of the stuff. But if they don't know what's happening or they haven't got the reasons why it's happening, they can hardly provide support. So simpler, faster plan making, including neighbourhood development planning, is central to the government's aims of achieving its growth. On January 22nd, I believe, I was in London for the launch of the Digital Planning Directory, which is the Ministry of Housing, Communities, Local Government platform. If you type in Digital Planning Directory on your Google or any other search engine, you'll go straight through to the digital planning site, which is what I'm showing you here. I checked this, so it does work, and it is top of the list. And let's hope it stays top of the list for a long time. This is a one-stop shop for all digital planning solutions. So you type in what you want to do, and it will give you a list of all the suppliers of those services. And you can just click through them till you find the one you want, and you see what each of them offers. The contact information is there. Most of them have case studies in, so you can see what they provide, how they do things. The services are organised into 10 headings. I'm not going to run through these. The bit that we've got a particular interest in and is critical for neighbourhood development planning is community engagement, i.e. using platforms to engage communities and understand what they are thinking, what they are saying, what they are wanting. But the platform obviously provides services across a whole range of areas. If you go onto the platform and type in community engagement, you'll find Go Collaborate. We think we're the only provider who's designed their platform to meet the distinct needs of smaller councils so that they, or you, can enjoy the benefits of digital community engagement. Our price point is significantly lower than most of the competition, and we've designed our platform so it is usable by small organisations. Community engagement is not just, however, for neighbourhood planning. You might want to talk to your community about community projects. The village hall is falling down or needs a refurb. Do you spend 10 grand on it? Do you knock it down and spend $250,000 on it? Is it okay? Should it be knocked down and left down? A whole host of things. Do you need to do better with cycle paths, walking areas, access points, signposting, etc.? Affordable housing down here in Cornwall is a major problem, and communities down here towns and parishes down here are using platforms to talk to their communities about what can be done. Things can be done. There are people ready to build this housing if it can be found in the right place and comes with the right safeguards to ensure that it is affordable and it can be accessed by the local people, the local workers. What we find is most of the people in the community have perhaps jaundiced view over housing. They're not aware of the benefits, the need, the safeguards that can be put in. digital community engagement enables you to get the facts out there to lots of people so they understand. It might still not be in favour, but at least they understand. And you can ask questions and get their feedback, get their alternatives to the problem of where the youngsters are going to work or live, or where the workers are going to live. Clearly, towns and parishes can raise precepts, and they could engage their community on those precepts. How much should they be? But more to the point, what they're doing with the money, and if they're increasing it, what is the case for the increases? How it impacts? Digital platforms are ideal for getting this information out there so that the community understands. And lastly, the platforms can be used for ongoing engagement. So the community can be telling you if there's issues, or you can ask the community what's happening at the bottom of Lower East Street, and yeah, concerns around A, B, and C. Please, could we have feedback on that? Is this an issue? Should we be doing something about it? Or just any issue that the community wants to feedback on. Digital platforms make all this stuff so much easier. Linked to this is social media, the use of social media, and quite frankly, it's not going away. And if you don't grab it and use it, then the communities are going to use social media to talk about councils and towns. And if they're not informed, or if they're talking badly for the wrong reasons and you can't engage, it's going to cause a problem. You're going to suffer. If you use digital platforms to get the information out there, so you can have a proper conversation, you can deal with the misinformation, misunderstandings, you've got a chance. Nobody's going to say it's easy though. The best digital products are easy to use, and they clearly reach parts that traditional engagement, town meetings on a Thursday night on a 7 o'clock, a whole host of people, that vast majority of people aren't going. You'll get a few paper surveys. Again, major problems with dealing with the responses. So traditional engagement, I'll drop onto this a bit more in a moment, is an issue. But we would recommend digital engagement and traditional engagement be done in tandem, because we're not seeing areas that are just ready for digital engagement. We would love it if it was, but that's not where most of the parish and town world is. So the significant problems with the likes of traditional engagements, SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, email engagement, these on the face of it are free. However, they are massively time hungry and they create a burden. Unless you've got people who can handle those software solutions, it's a significant challenge. And this is where we see groups falling over very early on in the process, just unable to handle what they're trying to do. They're all enthusiastic about surveys and finding out, but then they realize, oh my goodness, what are we going to do with all this stuff? The digital technology enables you to reach areas of the community that you previously wouldn't. Digital technology can be accessed anytime, anywhere, by anybody. It's not a piece of paper. You can get it in front of everybody. When the people want to respond, that's up to them. But the challenge is to get it in front of them, or the opportunity is give them the chance. Clear and easily accessed information will get you much better feedback. If the information isn't understandable, isn't clear, you're going to get that. You're going to get poor feedback, incorrect feedback. And you're going to be thinking, well, these people don't understand. The digital platforms enable you to put it out there exactly how you want. All the data that comes in from engagement needs to be managed. It's all, regardless of whether it's in paper form or not, it's all captured by the GDPR requirements, and it needs to be managed. It's personal data that needs to be managed accordingly, and it needs to be seen as such. And having it through one platform, having all the information in one place, it makes that challenge so much easier. More important, the data needs to be managed. So you need to get the data in a form that you can manipulate, you can understand, you can analyze, and the best platforms enable that to happen. The best platforms enable the information that you're getting to be reported back. So you're able to report back to the good people who have responded and tell them what you found, what you think it means, what you're proposing to do. And you can put that back out there for people to agree, disagree, comment on, and hone the solution. The platforms, you do use them once, you can use them multiple times. And we would absolutely encourage towns, parishes to make it business as usual. Use the platforms as a tool, part of your armament to engage your people. Unless you're very lucky, most of the parishes aren't coming to council meetings. But this is a way where you could build an online community for you to sound the people out about what you're doing and what they want. In summary, yeah, easy to build it. Well, this is the best platforms. And I like to think Go Collaborate is there. Easy to build, easy to deploy, easy to use. Fully customizable. We build ours with you so that it reflects your needs. It is your platform. We support you to ensure success. Some people struggle with the social media. We can help with that. They're designed, the best platform designed to create permanent virtual communities so that you can engage with them whenever you want on whatever issue you want, instantaneously. And they're affordable. The one we built is absolutely been designed for parish and town councils because that's where we've started off life. They're designed to take the pain and cost out of the collaboration and engagement. In summary, then, the new planning requirements require change, more houses. There is going to be a massively increased pressure to build. Plans that were in place that dealt with their areas requirements will no longer be sufficient. So refreshed or new neighbourhood plans are required to get the right house in the right number in the right places. But the benefits of neighbourhood planning go beyond housing. Plans can be used to drive prosperity, create spaces for new businesses or businesses that are in the town but struggling to operate well through the current arrangements. They're able to create spaces for health, things that enable the community to move forward and improve the health. Facilities for older people perhaps might be for younger people, and sustainability, the right houses for the right people in the right places. This digital stuff isn't going away, and the sooner the people crack on with it, bite the bullet, work out how they're going to do it, the better. 10 years' time, the digital environment will be, I think, very different to what we've got currently, and it will be much more business as usual. So we would suggest the case for digital community engagement is absolutely clear. And I think that's all I've got.